So this is how we make tomato sauce. We get some Roma tomatoes, like these, and we put them in boiling water, which I have going on over here. And you put them in for a minute or two, basically until their skin starts to split. And you take them out and remove them from their skins. It's kind of a time-consuming process, and it's really, really rough on your hands, so I suggest you wear gloves. I got some gloves here, and they're going to keep my hands from being killed by the acidity of the tomatoes once I have to peel them. Because when's the last time I ate tomato sauce I had to peel? Right, this is probably enough for right now, and then I have a another plate of them to add to the platter. Like so. More tomatoes. Whoops, my bad. Lots of these little guys, and to make a sauce so it really cooks down, so I figure this whole huge platter, which I have here, plus I've done at least twice that in the pot, and I have some already prepared. Alright, yeah, like that, yeah. See that, yeah. That, probably cooked down to 6 mason jars worth of sauce. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done it in a long time, so we'll find out how it goes. So what I do now is take the boiling tomatoes and water, basically, over here, where you can't see. But believe me, it's the same. And this is how you peel a tomato. It just slides right on out of its skin. I pick up the little nubbin, transfer it to my thing of tomatoes. Now it's repetitive to see me do this repeatedly. Believe me. So we will get back to it. It's so hot in here. Why is it so hot? Oh, that's another thing. You make tomato sauce and you have hot tomatoes and burns your hands and they're acidic. It's kind of a nasty thing. No wonder people buy it from the store. Sometimes I don't blame them. Now let me show you one more time what it will look like once it's cooked. You see there's that nice split there? This split? That's what you get when you boil it. So with the rest of our sauce, gonna need some onions. Onions? Onions. I guess I can show you what it looks like when I chop onions. Got my knife. I'll bring it closer. Got my knife. Got my onion. Got the top up. I don't know if this is our correct way to chop an onion. It's the fastest way for me. I gotta cut into little bits. Put it into our sauce. Our sauce. You don't have any. My sauce. Unless you come over. Then I guess we could share it. And it would become our sauce. But up until that point, it's my sauce. And I guess my family's sauce. People who share my sauce. So we got this here onion. Yep, it's a pretty exciting onion. Got my knife. And I just chop it up little bits. I think one of the keys to cooking anything is to have a properly sharp knife. Take good care of your knife, and they'll take good care of you. Or at least they will make your cooking easier. I don't know. That was not said eloquently. I had to turn this thing back on to share with you the fact that I'm really sensitive to cut onions. I don't know if anybody else is really sensitive to this, but man, my eyes are burning. I mean, and I eat pretty hot peppers, and, you know, I think I could suffer pepper spray a little bit better than onions, but onions are like, my eyes are going crazy. Oh, and I wish I didn't have to cut 4 more onions for this. Maybe I'm just going to cut 3 just because of this. Oh, yeah, onions. Just want to let everyone know, or you, or my one viewer. My one viewer will probably be me when I look back at this and think, man, I did a mediocre job. But I do want to let whoever's watching know that I managed to cut up all 5 onions. Correction, there were not 6, there were 5 in total. I manned up and I cut them all. So now I'm going to add them to a skillet. The skillet, which I'm heating up. Some olive oil. Cook them down. Because you can't, well, you can't have your sauce be too watery. And I don't want that. They always say, oh, a little splash of olive oil, you know. Pour that shit in. They pour that shit in. Let me grab this here webcam. Whoa. Like, look how much oil is in it. Like, that's a lot of oil. I guess that's a couple tablespoons at least. As you can tell, I obviously don't have the best setup here. This is the first time I've tried to record everything, or anything. Aside from my dog eating fried rice. Which I think went alright. Yeah. Went alright. So I'm going to add these. I'm going to cook them down. And I'm going to go get myself some herbs from the garden. Chop those up. I can even show you on video. And then I will get prepared to slow cook my sauce. Here's what I got in the way of herbs. I got a bit of Genovese basil. I'll chop this up to bits. Yep. That way, I'll get an even spread in my sauce. I don't know whether I like this better than the regular basil, the Thai basil I had before. So I decided I'd grow this heirloom Genovese version of basil. And it's really thick. It's really strong. I mean, I guess basil's a mint. And it's a pretty strong sort of mint component that you don't get in the regular basil. And maybe it's just my strain, or maybe my growing conditions weren't so great. They did fine for my peppers, but whatever. And then I also have some oregano. I have a huge oregano plant out there, so put some of this in. I'll also mince this, I guess is the proper term. It's yeah, you know, making tomato sauce is time consuming. I'm going to recognize this again and again as I go further and further and make further steps. Remembering why I don't generally make tomato sauce. But it should be worth it. It should be worth it. I'm sure if I had a better system, it wouldn't be so bad. But I don't have a good system, as you can probably tell. In fact, I collected this in the dark. Well, later I think I'll be working on some sun-dried tomatoes, which I will make in the oven, because I live in Canada. And even when it is sunny, in September, it's really not that warm out. Yep. Chop this up, get this prepared to go. Once my onions cook down, I will add a bit of garlic. And then I will show you the slow cooker and the sauce ready to go. And then the sauce is going to cook for like 8 hours or so, probably while I'm sleeping. And I'll wake up in the morning and then we'll can it. Herbs are done, cut it, like you watched me cut those up. So now I'm chopping garlic, to add to the onions. If you want to, you can crush your garlic, but chopping garlic is definitely better in the long run. It'll hold together a bit better, won't get lost, won't get as burnt when I add it to the onions. Mind you, if I'm making like a bean burrito or something like that, then yeah, totally. I use the garlic press. But for this, since I'm going out of my way to make sauce anyway, I might as well chop the garlic properly. I guess it really isn't all that exciting to watch, is it? It smells good in here. I mean, you can't smell from the internet, but trust me, it does. So here's my awesome slow cooker. It's quite old. It was given to me by my parents, but you know what? It works. It works. But in order to have a little spice here, I'm going to turn this around for you. These wires out of the way. Shouldn't be cutting those. The whole webcam experience will be cut short. What we have here, in the red, is a hot pepper, a quite hot pepper. This is Dorset Naga. I grew myself. I got the peppers from Judy at pepperlover.com. Started in January. It's been my most prolific pepper this year, as far as hot peppers go. And it's really quite hot. I think I have a lot. I have the buchalokia, like ghost pepper and all other standard stuff. 7-pod and square beans. And I think this is my most consistent hot pepper. It also has the most ripe pods, even though it is not a large pepper. So if you're going to cook with them, make sure you wash your hands. And that one little tiny pepper, you didn't see how big it was, is easily enough to spice the entire pot. So I got it in my slow cooker. I got the onions and garlic cooking down. I'm going to add my herbs. See? Herbs. Adding them. Liking the rest. Adding those too. And I'm going to stir everything down. This is a cook sauce. The longer it cooks, the better it will be. You know, I didn't core my peppers. Normally you would. But, yeah, too lazy this time. And since I'm cooking it for so long, it's not going to make much of a difference in the end. However, if you're doing, like, a fresh tomato sauce, then you'll definitely want to core your peppers. Core your tomatoes. So, I'm going to add my onions, which are hot, to my sauce, which is not quite hot yet, but shouldn't stop the onions from cooking. I will mix everything together and cook it down over the next few hours. And then tomorrow, we will can said sauce. It will be amazing if you guys would help. But since you won't, I will can said sauce alone. Phone call interruption. Also, add salt. If you don't add salt, you'll be sorry. You taste your sauce, and your sauce tastes like it needs salt.